Gold is legal money without counterparty risk. All the rest is credit with counterparty risk, particularly fiat currencies. I mean, what you have with the dollar is it depends entirely on the faith you have in the US government. You know, foreigners' faith in the US government, is this something that is likely to persist? I think foreigners at the margin are beginning to doubt their faith in the dollar. And I mean, it always starts with the foreigners. They're the first to understand that they shouldn't be holding a fiat currency. The residents of a country who use the currency don't actually appreciate this in the initial stages. They will do a double take on this and they will think, well, you know, prices are rising. This is terrible. They don't actually connect it with the falling purchasing power of their currency. But when they do, then the currency is toast, it's had it, it's finished. And that, I think, is the next stage. I mean, I don't know how long it'll take for people to begin to understand this. I can tell you they really, I mean, domestic residents in America and the UK do not understand this at all. You know, they think a pound is a pound, a dollar is a dollar, and I can, you know, go out and spend it, hang on to it, whatever. And its price is rising as far as they're concerned, not the purchasing power of their currency going down. At some stage, they will wake up to this. And then it's finished. It really is finished. The fiat currency world is finished. And I don't know how long it'll take. I mean, in the 70s, we got nearly to that point, really, I think, following the devaluation, which was what, 1968, something like that. And then we got to, in the 70s, we had the crisis where the IMF bailed us out in sort of around about the end of 1975, beginning of 76. Interest rates had to rise to 15% plus. I mean, well, that was the coupon on 3 of the gilt issues, admittedly medium dated ones, the government was forced, the Labour government at the time was forced to do something which it really didn't want to do, and that was raise taxes, cut spending, which it did. It had to bring the budget back into balance, and the thing was saved. We're a long way from this sort of activity. But until then, the currency was collapsing. I mean, I remember briefly, inflation was recorded at 24.5%. You know, I mean, think what that does. So this sort of 70s problem, which I think we now face, is all ahead of us. And at this time, after all this long period of fiat currency suppressing interest rates, etc., I don't know how long it will be before the whole system falls apart, but probably not terribly long. Year or two, maybe 3 if you're lucky. That's assuming, of course, that the conflict in Europe and the Middle East doesn't flare up and hurry things along. That's a separate question. But even without that, we're not in good shape.
Yeah, it's scary to think. And I think maybe, you know, some people are realizing this effect with the inflation we've seen over the past few years. You know, it's not to the extent of what you saw in the 70s, but it's still just definitely hurt a lot of people.
Yeah, I fear so. But you ain't seen nothing yet. Was it Yogi Berra who said that? So yeah, no, it's. I think there's quite a lot to worry about.